said, everyone's got an agenda, and you'll notice that it's a new fancy, pretty agenda. If we can get a motion to support tonight's agenda.
I'll motion that.
Glinda,
Oh,
perfect.
Motion made
I'll
by
second
Belinda,
it.
second by Karen. All in favor?
Hey, Karen.
Hi,
Aye.
Glinda.
Motion carried. Any declarations of interest this evening? I see none. 4 delegations presentations. Again, I see none. Minutes from the previous meeting again were sent out. If you had a chance to read them, that is good. If so, can we get an approval, or sorry, a motion to approve them?
I'll raise that motion to approve the
Motion by
minutes from
Belinda.
last. Yep.
Second by,
I'll second.
again by Karen. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Takes us to 6 committee reports. Before we get a few reports, I got A on here. Planning scheduled dates for our 2 committees to meet. We thought it would be good to have a fixed date each month, whether we meet or not, that is fine, but as long as there's a fixed date. Do we want to just throw a number and we'll go from there for each month? I don't know if anybody really cares. You got 30 days usually on average to choose from. Anything that doesn't run into board meetings is probably ideal. I should have thought about this prior.
Well, and I would think theoretically we might want to have it 1 or 2 weeks after our scheduled meetings, because if there's anything that comes up in those meetings, we have an opportunity to get things done before the next board meeting. Just a thought.
That is a good thought.
So maybe the 3rd week of the month versus the 2nd week of the month.
Sure, that works.
That would work.
So do you want to do like doesn't matter, 3rd Tuesday or Wednesday?
Either one's good for me.
Wednesdays I work late, so it would have to be Tuesdays for me.
Okay. And that being said, technically we have 2 committees. So we'd have to probably throw in another date. As I said, these meetings don't have to happen, but if we have stuff to talk about, that way we can put a time together. So that was
The 3rd and the 4th week, then whoever's going to either of them type deal. Does that work?
sure.
Yeah, and that actually works better for me, just because if it's in my calendar, I can work around that.
Yeah.
So does it matter I guess it would be between Jeannie and Tracy, right? Which is which?
Tuesdays are good for me.
No, just the 3rd or 4th week.
Either one. You're muted, Tracy.
Either one.
Okay. So we'll do how about we do the promotional committee on the 3rd week and events on the 4th.
Good.
That'll be a Tuesday, by the way. Is that all right? Yeah, Tuesdays. Do we need a motion to capture that?
Did you want to set a time for it too, Kevin?
Oh, yeah, that's probably a good idea. Evenings usually sound best for most everybody, eh?
Correct.
Agreed.
Is there a time that works, give or take?
What time?
Most likely evening or late afternoon, whatever.
I work till 4 usually on a Tuesday, so anytime after that.
6 is usually good. 5:36 is good, just because I sometimes run late.
Yeah, 6 works for me.
6 is good for me.
Tracy? 6? All right, 6. Once again, do we need a motion for this? I don't think so. Just scheduling meetings. All right. I'll add that to a calendar. Cool. So I know we will have Christmas stuff coming up, so We will have to talk about that at some point. Not tonight though. B, events committee update from the events committee. Sorry. Do you mind taking that one, Justin?
Yeah, I can do that. So the turkey trot is complete. It became very well feathered. We'll be picking up the donations, the balance of the donations tomorrow, and the remaining feathers. So far, we've collected about $175, and that should be a fairly small portion because that was just a couple places that wanted the money off their hands when we picked up feathers along the way. So I'm expecting it to be a fairly significant number. We also haven't picked up the foodstuffs yet, and judging from a couple places, that'll be pretty significant as well. Elizabeth's been keeping track of the total numbers of feathers that businesses have accumulated, so we'll be able to announce the winners of the prizes there by Friday once we get all the last little batch of feathers. People may have a few from Friday night and Saturday. We went around on Friday to get some put up at the market on Saturday there, but we seemed to get a significant number of feathers going out. So that was very good. And I think there's probably a significant amount of funds raised. What was our second item there?
Update for the market.
The Halloween market. So thus far, we have about 20 to 25 vendors have confirmed between regular farmers market vendors and some new ones we're bringing in. A number of vendors from Old Magic have confirmed that they're going to come, about 6, I believe. And Sherry has also lined up a group of mediums, readers, and psychics who will be there that day as well. Should be about 6, so that should be a pretty significant market down there that day. We will be holding a costume contest in conjunction with the BIA. So what's going to happen there is that people who wear their costumes down will be photographed, and then there will be a contest to pick the winner of the costume contest held on social media on Saturday and Sunday of that Halloween weekend. There will be entertainment. We're just confirming who that entertainment is, and we will have small pumpkins there for children to come and paint rather than cut, because I think knives would have been a little uncomfortable. There will also be a BIA downtown trick or treat that will go on. We will distribute pumpkins to the participating businesses. We'll send out an email soon to see who wants to participate. And the businesses that want to participate that will be open that Saturday, the 30th, will be able to put their BIA pumpkin out, and kids can go in there and trick or treat.
Justin, will the trick or treating be just between certain hours, or will it be the full 9 to 4 of the market?
And it'll be up to the individual businesses, basically, when they're open, when they want to receive.
Okay.
I think it'll be fun.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that sums up that little party. That's going to be a good day. I'm looking forward to that day. We got a ghost hunt to go to that night too. Justin doesn't believe in them though. Next, we're going to jump into the staff updates. We will start first with our digital Main Street update from Elizabeth.
Hi, I'm just going to share. Oh, I don't know if I can share my screen actually because I'm not a host, but that's all right. So in summary, 17 businesses in the BIA have been contacted. 7 of them have been interested. I think I've had 4 that have moved on to the training portion. So just trying to get a few more into the training before deadline, which is the 31st. But our rate of interest increased to 41%, which is great. So yeah, it's almost 50-50 between contacted and interested, which is great. I'm really hoping to get people move forward. We've had a few roadblocks, we've had some holidays. A few people have had issues with the platform, but we sorted out most of those. So it's looking pretty good so far. If anyone has any questions, please let me know. I'm more than happy to answer them.
Are there any rumors going around about extending the program at all this time, or do we think that it's kind of done now?
I haven't heard anything yet. However, we have our bi-weekly meeting as well. So that's on Thursday. So you never know, but I don't think so yet.
That will by and large be dependent on how many grants they get out at the provincial level. Last time, the reason that grant deadline extended so much was because they were not getting the grants out as quickly. It does seem like there's a little bit of a delay getting them out this time based on the numbers we've seen. So there might be an extension to that deadline, but if anyone wants to apply for the grant, looking around the table here, I think just about everyone who's eligible got it in the first round. But if there's anyone who is interested, they shouldn't wait for an extension of the deadline. They should complete the relatively brief and easy application as soon as possible so that they can take advantage of the program while it's definitely open.
Awesome. That is great. Thank you, Elizabeth. I know you're out and about working hard trying to get people signed up, so thank you. Next, we go to the BIA coordinator update, which would be Justin.
So part of my update tonight was going to be the turkey trot and the 30th market, but we covered that up front in the committee meetings portion. So I'm just going to start with a bit of an update on the farmers market that concluded for the season on October 30th. October 10th or 9th. We averaged about 8 vendors a week, and in total 21 different vendors came at least once. We had entertainment for everyone from the third market to the end of the season, and people seemed to enjoy that. The crowds were fairly consistent, got people through every week. The vendors seemed to be happy with the business they were doing when they were there, so that was all good. As we've mentioned already, there will be a market on the 30th in conjunction with Halloween, more of a broader farmers market BIA initiative, but most of our market vendors will be there again. The main thrust of what I want to talk about tonight is, as Kevin already referenced, the new agenda. Just wanted to briefly sort of run through what we were envisioning for the new agenda and the new process there. So I assume everyone's had a look at that agenda already. You'll see the main changes will be to include that sort of recommended motion with decision items in there. That's more just to give some place to start a discussion so that when these issues are raised, they're sort of a starting point. That's not necessarily the finished motion or what everyone needs to support. It's more just a place to start a discussion from when you raise something. We've also added this committee roundtable new business discussion area at the end of the agenda. The idea there would be that rather than raise entirely new things during the discussion and decision items, we should endeavor to raise those items during that roundtable so that new ideas can be brought up and discussed there, perhaps sent to the committee. The committee can discuss them in more detail at their meeting that month, and then it can come back as a discussion decision item for the next meeting. One thing we'd like to do in conjunction with that is I put together can I share screen? We put together a little report template. The idea being that everything that gets discussed in the agenda will now include, can everyone see that?
Yes.
Yes. All right. So just a little fillable PDF where the idea will be that everything that's a decision item on the agenda will have some sort of brief written report so that people have a general idea of what will be discussed and decided. This report could come from the committee, be written by me or Dana or staff where appropriate. If a board member wanted to take the lead on something, they could write the report just in a brief manner. It's not meant to be a novel or anything, but just providing an idea of where that discussion's starting from and the recommendation, the background, why we're discussing this, what it'll cost. And then if there was links, photography, any sort of supporting document, then it will be included in the attachment section. So moving forward, starting next month, the idea will be that that stuff will go out in a PDF package along with the agenda before each board meeting. So rather than just having the agenda to start from, there will be a little bit more information there, hopefully sort of focusing and driving discussion at the meetings and making it easier to reach decisions and make sure that everything's headed in the same direction. If anyone has any questions or anything, I can answer.
Nobody wants to talk to you, Justin. I don't know what you did.
No, it seems like a great format. I know Kevin and I met with Justin and Dana a couple weeks ago to go over it, and I think it's going to be a great format to start our meetings with.
So it kind of makes sense to everybody?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Oh, who was that agreed?
Categories.
That was Deuce.
Okay, well, that's good.
And sort of the last thing I'll bring up in my update, it's less distinctly BIA, but I know a number of you would have received an email from me today about our Small Business Week promotion. If you have the time, I already got Leslie's back, but if you have the time to briefly answer those 5 questions, we'll be putting together some social media posts for Small Business Week throughout the town. So if you have a moment to complete that and send it back so Elizabeth can put together the post, that would be awesome.
Perfect. Awesome. Anything else, Justin? That's it?
That's it for me.
Justin, I'm not sure if you sent it to me, but I didn't receive anything from you today.
Yeah, I was thinking, I don't think I've received it either.
No, I'll send it to you guys there tonight.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
perfect. Thanks. I can do it tonight for you as well.
Perfect. All right.
Yeah, and if you can send it to me as well. I mean, I don't have a small business, but I deal with businesses, so I might be able to provide some input.
All right, will do.
You sure you added everybody? Seems like a lot of people missed it. I got it.
So if I can just
focused.
jump in here a little bit, we're actually taking a bit more of a targeted approach with this campaign. We had some great discussions this week about some different avenues, strategies that we can use to feature some small businesses throughout Prescott. And we're trying to hit at least 1 or 2 from each different sector. So we've just kind of gone through, I believe, the first round to see who's willing, able to participate. That doesn't mean your business won't be invited as part of a second round. We're just taking a bit of a phased approach as part of this. And what we're actually going to be doing, this is kind of the kickoff to a new thing that we're going to be doing as part of reviving our economic development newsletter. We're going to be transitioning that into a new newsletter that will include a lot of the digital Main Street activities that are happening, as well as a new rotating business feature, which will involve an in-depth interview where our business development officer, Justin, will be going and visiting a number of businesses. Eventually, we'll want to hit every single business in the community. So this is really just kind of a kickoff to that. And we're hoping, if it is cost effective, that we might be able to look at doing something similar as part of our new Moose FM radio campaign. We've purchased a large block of radio ads for use for the duration of the year, and we're hoping to use some of those for the very same business features. And we're also looking at the possibility of a print feature in the South Grenville Beacon, possibly the Recorder and Times, really just exploring those ideas once we get through the kickoff to everything, which is the Small Business Week. And we are doing a number of promotions on Moose and placing some paid print ads in the South Grenville Journal and the Brockville Recorder and Times in support of Small Business Week and some of the different activities that we have planned as well.
That was a lot of stuff. That's great.
Feel
So,
free to
sorry,
email me if you have any questions.
Hey, Dana, just a quick question. What are we defining as a small business?
So small business for this purpose is less than 50 employees and independent. That's really the focus for this initiative, is the independent retailers. And then for the broader initiatives, we'll be going more into the franchise, over 50 employers, and really hitting some of our industries as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Tracy?
Hi, just to go back, Justin, when you were talking about the farmers market, just before we leave that, just wondering if there are any plans like to kind of do, I don't know, for want of a better word, like an exit interview with the vendors that participated to see what we could do next year to make their experience better, or how we could attract new vendors, just getting some suggestions from them.
Sure is. I'm hoping to have a virtual town hall meeting with them sometime in November, once we get a little bit of distance from all this.
And if I can also just jump in there too, something that we've had a lot of discussions about is, given this is our first market year and we're really just kind of starting this from scratch again, we have had really good response to the Wednesday evening markets, for example. So we're planning on doing a lot of brainstorming, taking a lot of that feedback from vendors as well as consumers, possibly looking at a survey to get public feedback as well, to see what the public is looking for out of a market. Are they looking for more of that traditional farmers market? Are they looking for more of a crafters market? Locations, times. We've got a ton of ideas, but we really want to consult the community and the vendors a lot more to look at some new options moving forward to keep it more exciting, and hopefully to in turn attract some more vendors and shoppers as well.
Awesome. Any questions, anybody? Cool. I do not see any. I will move on to C. Any updates from staff?
So I'll take this one. Thanks, Kevin. Just a quick put together just a bit of a summary of some downtown lighting options. I know we've been discussing Christmas lights and looking at some new lighting for the downtown core. There's a lot of different options out there, some more cost effective than others, but we're trying to also think long term. So I've put together just a bit of a summary of options that the board could consider. And really what we're recommending here is looking at a phased approach. So we don't necessarily have to go and purchase a light for every single pole downtown for this Christmas season. But if we could maybe look at focusing on the key intersections, that might be a really good start. We could look at doing 2 to 4 of the pole mount lights there. That would be complemented by the existing pole wrap Christmas lights, as well as the beautiful Christmas banners that we have. So we've already got a really good base of lighting. This is just some options to kind of take it to another level. And I think I can share screen here. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Okay, can everyone see that okay?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, sorry, it is a bit grainy because it's been taken from their catalog. So this will just take you through some of the pole mount options. This supplier here is Decrolite. They are a very reputable supplier. I would say they're used by the majority of municipalities when it comes to downtown lighting. So these are the first two options here, just a very traditional snowflake. That's something else that we're recommending, that we're really looking at for the downtown, is trying to keep it more holiday themed, I guess, versus your more traditional Christmas type of theme. So staying away from candy canes, nutcrackers, because we really want to try and get some longevity out of them. So our focus is trying to put them up, I would say, from November right through till February. And they would remain relevant if we focused more on the snowflakes or stars versus something that's really Christmassy. So you're not going to see a lot of that. If you're looking for Santa Claus, snowmen, I'm going to be disappointing you, unfortunately. So this is really kind of what we're focusing on. Very tasteful white lights, or a combination of white lights and blue lights. As you'll see, they're not cheap. So these are for like a 5-foot diameter snowflake that would mount to our pedestrian poles downtown, are ranging sitting right about $1,000 for that option. Same supplier, Decrolite. This one mixes in a bit more of the blue and white lights, which I really like, just as a complement to the existing blue and white lights. As you probably recall, and I do have a picture at the end of the report here, the town added some really nice wrap lights around the downtown poles last year, which I thought looked really good, along with some clock tower lights, which were more of this royal blue and white light. So here we're into very similar. We've got 4 and 5 foot lights, range in price from $850 to $1,150. Another supplier here, Classic Displays. This is the same supplier that we used for our downtown benches that we just installed this summer. They have these half snowflake options, which I really like as well. They are a bit more affordable. There's a 4-foot one for $650, and then the dual light with the blue and the white is $845. Again, it would be 4 feet. The others are 5 feet on average. There's a 4-foot one. They're $1,150, $1,000. So you could get, more bang for your buck, I would say, if you went with the half snowflake, which might just be a better fit for the downtown and the actual size of the poles that we're putting them on, because these are not tall. They're not your typical hydro poles. These are the lower level pedestrian lights, so they could be a good complement for that. This is just something else I threw in here. We are looking at potentially replacing the trees at some point, but I've seen these done in a few different communities, and it's hard to get a visual. I can send a video out afterwards so you can see what they look like in action. But the lights, the way they're a moving light, and they actually look like falling snow. I don't know if anyone has ever seen these in other municipalities. I've seen them done in some parks before, and they are just stunning, absolutely beautiful. So that's something I would recommend looking at maybe down the road. You're looking at about $300 a strand. You could probably do a tree with 2 or 3 strands. You wouldn't want to overdo it, but just something to add a little bit of pop of light to it. We also could look at something like this for Centennial Park or Riverwalk Park area. Just an idea, more of a wish list that I wanted to include in there because I thought they would look really nice as a complement. And now we're getting into some really flashy, what they call street line banners or skyline banners. And these are the ones that extend, as you can see from the image, across the road. And what I would envision eventually is looking at something at the base of Edward Street. I'm sure, as everyone knows, coming down Edward Street, once you hit the top of that bridge at the railroad tracks, you can clearly see all the way down to the river. And I think a skyline banner at the base of Edward Street could be just beautiful. And then potentially down the road, looking at something right along King Street as well, almost like gateway arches coming into the downtown from the 3 points, Edward and King Street, east and west. So just a thought, again, you'll see they're $2,600. They are by no means cheap, and that is for a 16-foot portion. So you would need 2 of these to get a full street covered. So they are, like I say, they are more of a wish list idea down the road, but they certainly would have a lot of impact. And then just scrolling down to some other options. This is another supplier sheer display. I didn't obtain pricing for these just because they are so similar to what we looked at above, but just to give you some sense of, you know, what the options are out there, and that there are a number of reputable suppliers. But I'm really liking what I was seeing through Decrolite or Classic Displays. And then here's another, just a couple more examples of some streetline banners from the same supplier that we use for our existing blue and white material snowflake banners. And this is more of a permanent year-round option. I know this was thrown out at one point, I believe. It would be kind of similar to what Gananoque does. They have some year-round pole mount lights that are more nautical in theme. We could also look at a custom design. I love, you know, if we were going to do it, I personally would recommend we look at something custom, maybe go with the lighthouse option. But this is just to give you a sense of what the capabilities are. These are American pricing, so very similar in price to what you'd be looking at for some of the other lighting. But of course, these would be up year round and could be either complemented, switched out for Christmas, or left and then complemented by other Christmas lights. And this just gives you a sense of what was done last year. So it'll show our existing Christmas snowflake banners there. And then we did the pole wrap lights, and then the beautiful royal blue lights on the clock tower, as well as the existing white lights in the trees. So and these would be the same poles that we would be mounting those pole mount lights to. So as you see, they are a shorter pole. That's why I would be recommending looking at the half light versus the full snowflake, because I think it could be just a bit overpowering, and it would probably be more in line with the banners and be a really nice complement to that. So really just wanted to bring this forward, see if the BIA liked any of the options and possibly wanted to consider allocating some budget dollars to something even this year, a few lights that could potentially be matched by the town. That's for Matthew to speak to, though. So that's it for me. Happy to look at other options as well if the committee isn't happy with anything that's been presented tonight.
I think the snowflakes are beautiful. I do like the idea, though, of having something all year round and maybe accenting it too. So I'm kind of like a toss up between the two, because I love sparkle. So,
Agreed.
Yeah,
Yes,
any extra
yeah.
bling that's like there is awesome. And I love the idea of more bang for your buck, and adding, like, we could get snowflake stuff too.
Mhm.
But I love the idea of maybe on the poles, having like the lighthouse done for the poles, and then going for the banners across the street for Christmas time or something to that effect. Because I do love, and I love the royal blue downtown. So I'd love to have that incorporated somehow in the new lighting. So yeah. And I love
From
the
an
sparkly
impact perspective, I think those streetline banners, I just picture one of those coming down Edward and being just blown away as you.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
And maybe,
It would be stunning. It would be stunning.
Yeah.
But again, that's 10 of these.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and it doesn't, you don't need to necessarily decide tonight, although if we are looking for something this year, word to the wise, it is, Christmas lights need to be ordered in August, to be frank.
Yeah.
So I can't even make any promises for what we'll be able to secure this year, but if there is some direction and some sort of appetite from the committee, and we could at least move forward to see what's available.
Could I ask, if you did a custom lighthouse, would you be able to put the blue color or a red color in some way?
Yeah, you could customize any color lighting you want, and we could switch them up, have one green, one red, one blue, whatever your heart's desire.
And I love those lights that look like the falling snow.
Yeah.
That's stunning. That is
They
just
are
stunning.
beautiful.
What
I'll
were the
find
You said,
Go ahead.
sorry, what were the prices of those ones?
So these were, so for
300 a
5
strand,
tubes,
so you'd need 2 or 3 for a tree.
6 or
Yeah.
9.
so they come in different lengths from 15 all the way up to 34 inches in length
Wow.
of the actual tubes. And then each one is 5 tubes a strand. So you're looking at, to do one tree, you'd at least $600, I would think, to make any impact.
Yeah.
I'd only be concerned with having something hanging from a tree that is moving. Would that be distracting?
So the lights themselves, yeah, would basically drop from the top of the tube down. So I don't know if it's necessarily the best thing for a street adjacent installation, but a park.
Yeah.
Be nice. The river walk near the amphitheater.
Amphitheater could be, oh my gosh.
Can you imagine? That would
Yep.
be stunning.
Wouldn't it though?
I just realized how totally outnumbered I am here.
Yeah, we've got you out blinged. Don't worry.
We got the sparkles and the pretty things going.
Would
But
we
even
have,
at minimum, going back to the more realistic thought, you could look at doing 2 to 4 of these per intersection. So you could do the King and Edward, King and St. Lawrence, or King and Center. Maybe start with 2 intersections, 3, and then build on it, right? And maybe
Would
just
we
focus
have-
on those intersections.
sorry, would we have the opportunity as a business to buy something that coordinating?
I love the idea. It's something I don't think anyone's ever discussed before.
Just
Like
because I
as
don't,
far-
How do you
know
mean?
that I'm pretty far from Edward Street, so it might be nice to have something outside of the building that coordinates with everything else that's going on.
Yeah. That'd be so cool.
Mhm. Yeah, and get it coordinated. And eventually that's where it would be really great if we could get all the businesses involved in like a Christmas storefront, decoration, almost like a competition amongst businesses, right? I don't know if anyone has seen those funny sign challenges that are happening in some
Yes.
communities, where it really just, it promotes the businesses in the long run because you're making the town more beautiful and attracting more people to your business with your lighting themselves and the social media that you're doing to promote it. But it's also a beautification thing.
Yeah, totally.
Hey,
I
man.
just threw something quick and I don't know what lighthouses look like, so bear in mind. But like something like this. Can you see it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, with the
yes,
water.
yeah.
feature.
With the water, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think would be
Love
really
that.
cool. And add the blue and
Love
white,
it.
you know, and
Stunning.
even-
Oh my
like-
gosh, you're so talented, Leslie.
it's totally rough. But like even
So,
if
there is a fund that we're looking at exploring. Leave that with us. Justin and I are looking at some potential new funding options right now. And this could fit the permanent lighting, not the Christmas. But
Yeah.
if we wanted to look at a
Yes.
permanent thing, this could possibly fit for a funding application because this would be a huge undertaking, expense wise, right?
yeah,
But
yeah.
if we could maybe
I would
tap
assume
into some
custom
funding,
designing is a fortune.
What's
yeah.
that sort?
I would assume custom designing them is a fortune.
Yeah.
I'm just guessing.
it would
Probably.
certainly be a higher price point, but I did look into it and at one point, and it's really not, we're talking an extra, maybe 50 to 75 a light, especially if you're ordering in bulk. That's the thing. If we're only ordering 2, they're going to be very expensive. But if we're ordering 10 to 20, it's a different
Mhm.
story.
Yeah.
Well, and as Dana said, that doesn't have to be in this year's budget. We can take a look at that, but
Mhm.
I love the idea. Like it incorporates everything. It incorporates the lighthouse, incorporates the water, it incorporates the color scheme
Mhm.
that we're really trying to brand.
Dana, can you scroll back up?
This one,
There's something about that. Yeah, there's something about that J that keeps.
I
Going
love
back.
the J. I fell in
Yeah,
love with
I
this
love
one.
that
Oh no,
one
I
as
love
well.
that too.
Love
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
Well, and
That
I think
one,
it goes
yeah.
exactly with the banners across the street. So
Yes.
Yes.
And that's why I was thinking long term was that it would
Yeah.
all be so beautiful, matchy.
yeah, like I think if this, like I think I love the pole designs, but one or two or I would rather put money into the big banner for
Agreed.
this
Agreed.
year.
I think like it's more boom,
Yes, then
right?
find 5 this year and then adding 5 more. Like I'd rather put full force into something like that, and then next year go full force into the poles, or go full force into, is my
Yeah,
thought.
and if we can do like a banner or like a couple of the half ones, that just kind of ties into it, because those are stunning. Like those are standalone.
Yeah.
But like that the half ones kind of tie into what's already being done.
Exactly.
It just pops it out a little bit more.
Yeah.
Even get one for the both entrances, or I don't know, that's a lot, but not really.
We have another spender.
So to cover a street width, you're going to be $5,000.
You would.
Well,
I
how
would
much
think
do
you
you have
would
in the
need
budget?
2 of them. Matthew, do you
budget?
know off the top of your head the actual width of these streets, or are we looking at 3 of these? I don't know if he's there. Did we lose him? Oh, he could be on another. Yeah, so I'm not sure.
Really
I would
16
think at least a minimum of 2.
Mm-hmm.
And
how much
this is
were
a
they-
large
they were-
investment, and it's something also that if the BIA, was looking to do half of, we would have to approach council for matching
Mhm.
funding of.
Yeah. What is our actual budget?
Tracy would have the numbers.
Yeah. So, okay, so for physical improvements, we have 7,000 left, but keeping in mind that for marketing, we only have 3,200. So we may be wanting to to move some money around.
Can we scroll back to the one that goes across the street? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
definitely.
need that. We need that.
Yeah.
That one would, in my opinion, be a definite. I like the idea of coming off the railroad track bridge
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
seeing that right as you go downtown.
Yeah.
it's stunning. It's stunning.
Even if we could do like one of those and then do the half one, number J, earlier on a
Mhm.
couple more of them.
Yeah, because to Don's point, it is a lot, but the focus is very much that King and Edward intersection, right?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
you're not necessarily hitting your whole downtown, even if you could augment it with a couple of those half ones
Mhm.
down at the west end.
Yeah.
Just even the east and west end,
To connect it.
potentially.
Yeah.
Those main intersections as almost little gateway lights, and then have your regular pole wrap lights along with your banners, and then
Yeah.
possibly look at an additional street line banner down the road.
Yeah, for sure.
And work on
Well,
that
it's-
communicator.
It's just so dramatic, and so many
Yeah.
people use that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like you'll see it from so many different perspectives. It'll be so visible.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Good job, Dana.
Yeah, I
I
love
think we
it.
need. I think we
Well,
need
you
to
can
know
always
how
rely
wide the
on me to
street
spend
is.
money. Or
think
come
we
up
need
with
to
the
know how
most
wide a street is
expensive
first.
champagne taste on a beer budget.
Dana.
Yep.
I think we need to know how wide a street is first,
Yeah.
because I'm just kind of Googling and I don't know the exact numbers, but they say on a minimum you're around 20 feet. So I don't know what ours are, but if it's 20 feet, give or take what this thing sits on, one might actually be enough.
Mm.
So I can get a quick measurement here just from Google. So 44 feet. And that is from corner to corner. That's not including your sidewalk. That is from edge of street to edge of street.
Wow.
That is Edward.
Wow.
And then,
So I just want to interject.
oh, there we go. There's Matthew. Okay.
I'm not sure we're prepared to move forward on this year because we don't have a secondary pole to attach it to at the bottom of Edward. So just wondering if
logistically, yeah, that was the concern, is will it work?
Great options for kind of moving forward. And I'm just wondering, are we comfortable with doing a couple of intersections in kind of the half snowflake concept? Because I'm also concerned with the 4 and 5 foot full ones, that if we're putting it on the street side, that we're going to have trucks. That's one of the reasons why we shortened the flag pole on the bottom, is that we had trucks continuing to hit them on that side. So if we went with the half ones, it definitely makes that allowance where we don't have potentially delivery trucks hitting them. And then if we just do a couple, then we can always do the year round and intersperse them as we go forward.
That's exactly what we were discussing, Matthew.
Okay.
Matthew just upset a lot of people.
Yeah.
Only because it's a $5,000 pole to have to put in, and
Yeah, exactly.
But if it's on the south side of King Street on Edward, where we were talking about that little causeway by O'Hafey's, would that not be more logical to put it there so we don't have to worry about the transports and poles?
And that's where we don't have a secondary pole. So there is only a pole on one side of the street there, and then O'Hafey's on the other side, and that's where we have the issue.
Can you attach the building?
We wouldn't recommend that.
Okay.
The town owned the building, it would be a different story, but
yeah.
So that's the next page down, right, Dana? The half. Yeah.
So this one I think could potentially work.
Jay.
This is more of a, these are a bit smaller.
Yeah.
This one is quite tall, so we're thinking probably more along the half snow crystal.
They're both 4 feet, are they?
Still have the colors that you're looking for, and would still
mimic a little bit.
Do that street line banner down the road and have it be a complement.
Yeah.
But we could also look into seeing if there are other, they may have a shorter option here for this one that I can look into for Jay if we really like this. It's not to say I can't reach out to Decrolite and see if there is maybe a half option.
Yeah, or even like -1 blue one at the bottom.
Yeah, that just maybe has a couple snowflakes.
Yeah.
So likely either the half or the one that you were looking at there, that with the blue and the white that kind of cuts back would work. Just because when we went full width, that's when the delivery trucks started hitting the poles and breaking them up.
And then we can investigate if the committee really likes the option of pursuing the street line banner. Then we can investigate that for long term.
I like that.
Yep, agreed.
As well as the lighthouses, more of a long-term project. We could see if there could be potentially funding for the lighthouses, and we may even be able to get the street line banner covered as well. Potentially even the pole. That is a possibility. I just worry that it would be less likely to get approved because it's more of a seasonal thing, whereas the other poles lights are year round. And the focus is downtown revitalization, beautification, things to really activate your downtown year round.
Yeah, very cool.
So we're looking at 845 for those half snow crystals, and 1150 for those bigger ones. If we got them to a more reasonable size, I'm guessing they're probably going to be closer to 850.
Cool.
So you could look at allocating some monies. Now, I'm not sure if
Could
how
you
much
get a
the
mix
town
of
is
both?
prepared to, if the town's prepared to match it.
Right.
And we do a combination of both.
Yeah.
Of both snowflakes, the two at
Yeah.
the top there that we're looking
Yeah.
at, you can do a combination for sure, yeah.
Yeah. Do some of the one single and then do some of the collective.
Yeah, yeah, because that would just kind of like pop it up and make it interesting.
Like J and
Yeah.
then
Do
down
J-
here.
Yeah.
I would recommend trying to stay with the same supplier. That's my only one suggestion.
Oh,
These are
okay.
from two different suppliers.
Does the other supplier have a blue and white option besides the J? Because I like the J.
Not that really stood out. I can send you
No.
the link to the Decrolite
Mm,
catalog. Even if you just Google Decrolite, their catalog,
Okay.
you can go to their website, check their catalog, check their catalog
Say
out
that?
yourself.
And is blue the official color that you're going with?
It's what we went with last year. So there was this pretty significant investment made in the lights to wrap around the poles. So I assume that the town would like to keep that as much as possible.
I think it keeps it consistent with
Yeah.
our pole wraps and our banner flags. And
Okay, keeping in mind both like number J and the other half snowflake with the blue, can you scroll down to our actual street you showed us with the clock tower? Yeah. Oops. Okay, so we'd be keeping the snowflake banner, correct? Correct?
Yes,
The white one, I can't quite make out what it says on there, but would
those
that
are the
where-
Riverwalk.
Okay, so that could be changed out for the half snowflakes?
This is a question for, I want to chat with operations to confirm that they wouldn't want to mount them on the inside, again, just to avoid that potential truck mishaps.
Okay, so we
Because
could
they're-
easily move the flag banner over to the roadside versus the light to the sidewalk side?
Well, we may have to go alternate poles, and I think the focus for this year was really just the intersections. So you would
Okay.
have all of your poles in the middle of the sidewalk. They would be exactly as you see here. And then once we get down into the intersection, that's where we would complement it with one or two of these lit pole decorations.
Okay,
And the other thing to remember is these poles are a little bit, that's why the one is triangular shaped, because the sleeve, the bottom pole is short. So they're meant to be more of a triangular, and that was what Matthew was speaking to, is because we did have some issues. So I believe they actually adjusted these to reduce the potential of them being struck by traveling transports.
cool, okay.
So it wouldn't hold your traditional banner like you see on the other side, on the north side.
Mm-hmm. Understand now.
So how many, what's the deadline that you guys need to know this by? Like, you were planning to have these this year?
Well, that's the question, is once we get a little bit more direction as to how many we're looking to order, what the BIA would be interested in purchasing, then we would follow up and confirm what we can actually get in stock for this year.
it sounds like we're all very interested in the lighting. I think what we need to do is determine what we can afford, so that we can put a motion on the table.
If 7,000 is the budget, that's for the year. I'm assuming.
That is what's
Yeah.
remaining. There was
Yeah,
10,
that's what's
but
remaining.
it's 7 now.
Okay, and that's just till January?
Yeah.
Yes. So would people be comfortable with saying like 4?
That's,
But we've got Halloween and we've got Christmas coming up.
Yeah. And this would be Christmas.
Yeah, we don't really have much expense for Halloween. Christmas we may.
So-
we haven't got that far into an event yet. That's why we scheduled
Right.
or putting it in place.
I was
Right.
thinking, I was
So-
thinking 5, Leslie.
5, yeah.
I was
Yeah.
thinking around 5 as well.
Yeah.
Then that
You-
leaves 2 to go to marketing and promotions, which we already have 3 in. So that would leave 5 for marketing promotions, 5 for beautification.
And that's just till Christmas because it's renewed again in January.
Mhm.
What was our what was spent last year or the year before? Like what is a normal spending?
We blew out somewhere almost $20,000.
Oh,
Somewhere, yeah, somewhere around all those benches and everything.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Well, let's do it.
What was there any? I 'cause I can only see so many people at a time. What I know, was there anything from town about covering cost? I didn't see any cost sharing in that.
I think Dana said it was up for debate, presenting to the town and seeing if they could match it. Was my thought of what was said.
Okay.
But maybe that was for the lighthouses.
Tracy, can we pull from anywhere else? Do we have money sitting in other spots that we're absolutely not going to spend this year?
And so to go over the budget, so with the coordinator, we have 5549 left for the year. So there could be some possible monies there. For marketing, like I said, there's 3,200 left. Keeping in mind, we usually give $500 to the Prescott Fire Department for the parade,
Yeah.
whether or not that's a go or not. And then, like I said, we do have 7,000 left for physical improvements. So I guess we just have to think about overall what our budget for Christmas looks like too, right?
Right. But I would really like to invest in something that's going to give us a return year after year. And it's kind of a twofold because it's going to be Christmas and it's beautification as well, right?
So if we just concentrate it, we'll say on one 4-corner street for now to decorate, and then next year we can do another one and just keep building on that. Is that possible? Like I know King and Edward is the most popular, but let's say we do Center and King near the post office and Clock Tower. Put the 4 half snowflakes there. And then next year we know that we'd like to advance to maybe the across the road banner. Or the falling snowflakes down at the amphitheater.
I personally would like to do something that would be finished. I'd like to invest some money in something that would be finished this year. Dana, can you answer that question? Was the town going to put in for some of the lighting, or is it just the BIA that would be purchasing?
It would essentially be, if you were looking to go ahead with it, there would have to be a request made through council and the town for what would additionally be covered.
Okay.
So that's probably another step down the road. This is more
Right, and that's gonna take a
informational at this
while.
point.
Yeah, that's going to take a while.
So sorry about that. Dan and I were just conferring for a moment, and so if we were to purchase 8 of the items, the half snowflakes, then we could share the cost 50-50 between us and the town. And I think we have enough in areas of the budget that already for downtown decorating that we wouldn't need to go and wait for our council approval, that we could move forward with it now.
And what would the total be on that? 8?
So if we're talking $1,000 a piece, as the maximum, then that'd be $8,000, and so it'd be 4 and 4.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we did do a motion then for the 5,000, that would more than cover what,
I believe so. We also just quickly took the look at each intersection, and there's really only 2 poles per intersection that we could put it on. It's going to be close enough and make it an effect on it. So that's why we're kind of suggesting that number.
the 8, okay. All right, so can I make a motion then that we go ahead and support this initiative with $4,000?
And I can second that.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Yep.
Do we have a decision on what we want? Do we need that today?
I
Probably.
think so, because we would probably need to get it ordered,
Yeah.
get it up ASAP. It'd be nice to have everything in by November.
Which did you guys like the most?
Well,
should
I thought we were
finish the
kind of
motion
thinking
on-
about the half snowflakes because that would fit with everything that needs to be done right now, and then we can look at other things
Yeah.
for the longer term.
Is that correct? The half ones?
Yep.
All right.
I
Should
agree.
we finish the motion on the money first, though, before you?
Go.
Everyone say
All in
aye.
favor? All in favor?
Aye.
Bye.
Hey, that's my job.
Sorry.
I'll just you guys just decorate all you want. So okay, that's so that was the money side, right? Awesome. You don't need a motion on the kind. You guys know which ones? Yes.
The half snowflake with the blue in it.
Yeah.
I like
Fine,
them
you're
all.
fine, so I think we're
I'm
good.
okay with whatever you
Sorry,
guys
what was
pick.
that back?
Yeah, I like the half snowflake with blue.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's our understanding. So that's what we would move forward with.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Motion carried.
And the cat again likes the decision.
Yeah.
That's something. Anything else from staff? That was a big topic. I wasn't expecting that. I see nothing. Alrighty. Christmas lights. Look at us go. Next, we're going to 8. This is the discussion / decision items. We only have one thing on here. The potential connections between King Street and the waterfront. The recommendation is that the town of Prescott examine the possibility of closing Edward Street between Water Street and King Street from Victoria Day weekend to Labor Day 2022 to vehicular traffic as a pedestrian muse pilot project.
Love it.
What?
I like that.
I love
I
it
think it's
too.
a great idea.
Love it.
Okay.
You need a motion?
Anybody want to make a motion?
I'll raise a motion that we recommend that we close Edward Street between Water Street and King Street from Victoria Day weekend to Labor Day 2022 to vehicular traffic as a pedestrian muse pilot project.
Second?
I'll
Second.
second it.
Oh,
No,
good.
second by Karen. Just beat you, Leslie. Is there anything anybody wants to talk about that before we go ahead, or everybody kind of get the idea?
No, we're
I
good.
think it's
No,
a great
I think
idea.
we're good.
Can
Love
I
it.
just ask, what's happening at the bottom of the street? So you're closed that little portion, but
Right.
not the thoroughfare at the south part? You can still
Correct.
go east-west at the bottom?
Correct.
Yes. Yes.
Is there gonna be anything to protect pedestrians who may not be from here, who go wandering down that street thinking it's closed and then get hit by a car at the bottom of the street?
I don't think there's been real plans for design of it yet, but I'm assuming that they would be barriered on each end. So you would, I guess, would kind of understand that the street's still open. That's just my train of thought, but I could be wrong.
So I
I
would
guess,
recommend.
if it's still forthcoming, I just think that could be for somebody from out of town, especially maybe who's headed to the bar or just leaving the bar and thinks the street is closed and then you know, it's already kind of tight down on that south end.
Yeah, Matthew?
So I would suggest that this is a recommendation to the town council as opposed to anything else. And then in terms of pedestrian traffic, that sort of thing, that is a two-way stop right there. So it's not a through. And then we would have to put signage and address that at the same time to make sure that people knew that it was still an ongoing street.
That was a much better answer. Anything from anybody? No. All right. Motion is made. All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Motion carried. Thanks, everybody. Let's mosey along to number 9, financial report. And we're doing something that we usually don't do. There's recommendation that the final report or the financial report be accepted as presented. Before we get a mover and a seconder, if you want to go through that, Tracy, which we kind of did, but not quite.
Yeah. Okay. So for expenses for the coordinator, the current expenses to date, $44,451. So that's leaving a remaining budget of $55.49 for the balance of the year. Under marketing and promotion, to date, we have been billed $2,513. There's another $3,250 outstanding with commitments that we've already made, which included the turkey trot, the rat cards, the Rediscover Riverwalk with the $750 reallocation for destination, the $1,000 BIA stage in September, and $150 for the shopping bags at the market. And then under physical improvements, we have committed $3,000 for the up to $3,000 for the Adirondack chair. And tonight, the $5,000 for Xmas lights, up to $5,000 for Xmas lights. Perfect. So that would leave us with a $2,000 balance.
Perfect.
All right. So the motion is on the table. Anybody care to move it?
Sure.
Motion is made by Leslie, seconded by Pearl. All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Is carried. Next is 10, the committee round table new business discussion section. Yeah.
I think he froze.
He's silent.
Pinpoint somebody.
Crickets.
Does anybody have anything they want to throw out there?
We didn't hear a thing you said earlier. Your lips were moving, but no sound.
From committee roundtable onward.
Oh, okay. New business / discussion. There. So if you have any ideas, thoughts you want to bring to the table, this is the place to bring them.
The one thing I was thinking, just with the discussion of the lights, I was thinking it would be cool if we could ask the businesses this year maybe to decorate in the white and blue and all stay in a theme. I don't know. What do you think? Or even an accent, but all stay similar, just so it's like.
Well, we did talk about the potential of possibly like a window decorating thing. So that might be not a bad idea in that. We can talk about that if you want to go that way. If we do a competition, you can have like a rule.
No competition. Well, we can't set a rule. We can't tell them what to do, but we can say it's a white and blue theme.
That's what I mean.
And then it's up to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll bring that forward in the. What would that be? That'd be more of a promotion, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it just might be a fun way to connect us all, but also kind of do a big splash for the new purchases, you know?
I like it. Anybody else got anything?
Christmas markets, Leo Bowen Center.
Mm.
That's in the works. We should have an announcement of some sort in the next couple of weeks.
Good,
Cool.
thank you.
Lovely. Anybody else? All right. I'm going to pick on one person because a suggestion got made to me a little while back. I kind of liked it. I mentioned it to Justin. I'm going to pick on you, Don. Can I pick on you?
Sure, I don't know where this is going, but okay.
You made a mention to me of an event that you thought would be interesting.
Oh,
And
okay, yep.
That was the whole.
So what I was thinking was, so I've sold thousands of dollars of Meat Church barbecue rubs, and a lot of the men that are coming in to buy them are having mini competitions in their backyards. So I was wondering about for next, I guess it doesn't matter when it is, but I know it would take some planning, is to have a local kind of like a rib fest, only with smokers for local people, featuring
Cool.
local talent instead of bringing people
Love
in
it.
to eat, and then donating to a charity with the
I
whatever
love
funds
it.
are made.
Like a chili cook-off.
Kind of only with smokers and briskets, but there
Smokers.
seem to be a ton of people who either have smokers or are getting smokers, and they're really competitive with each other.
Yes.
And I think
And
that, you know,
Person
something
who
like that.
likes to eat smokers.
Yes. But down at the beach or something, I think it would be, down at the park, I think it would be a great event to attract local people. And they're already basically doing these things in their backyards anyway, so it would just be a bigger version of what they're already doing.
Love it.
Great idea.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure about the logistics of serving the food, but even if it was a true competition where only the judges eat some things, if I just don't know what the health unit, what the rules of that
Right.
are.
Yeah.
Well, and the logistics too of getting the smokers and everything down there.
Oh, they're already traveling. Like there are people that I've talked to even this week that have 5 and 6 smokers, and they go and people are doing weddings for people and parties, and they're
Okay,
really
so that's
into
not
it.
an issue. Okay.
Yeah, they would provide their own.
Yeah. We just provide them with a space to set up.
Yeah.
I motion to be a judge.
Me too. Justin's all over that.
Well, maybe it's the BIA board gets to be the judges.
Yeah.
That would only be fair.
Yeah.
I
That
think
would
so.
only be fair.
It's awesome.
Justin, you want to speak?
The biggest concern there, based on interacting with the farmers market, is with the health unit and what regulations would be involved there, and they would be significant to insurmountable, more than likely. I mean, I love the idea, but
I
I
wouldn't mind looking into it if that would help. I could speak to the health
Mhm.
unit, because I think there's different rules depending on
How
like
we laid it.
they just served it to judges and it was judged that way, and then maybe have a couple of people with commercial licenses actually serving the food to the public. So there's a bit of both going on at the same time, because most people, the briskets are really expensive. I don't think each individual would be able to make enough to serve a bunch of people
Mhm.
anyway, right? In a
Yes.
competition. But if there are a couple of commercial smokers or restaurants that are doing it as well, that could maybe be approved to serve the public, so that they're doing the higher amounts, but the local people could just do the true competition where it's judged and they're doing it in front of everybody. And, you know, doing a Facebook Live while that was going on, I think would be kind of a nice thing to do as well. But I think there's ways of getting around the food service part of it for them to still have a competition.
Yeah. I love it.
Could we do food trucks with the local guys as a competition?
That's where, I think that's where Justin was headed, is more like once you get out of that commercial, you know, if they're pre-inspected by health units and they're approved to do traveling events, great, absolutely, we could go that route. And maybe just as you said, Dawn, explore that local competition aspect a bit further with the health unit to see if, if that is possible. If we just had it restricted to a few taste testers, could certainly, look at some alternatives, but definitely not for them to be able to serve the public. I think that was, where we were kind of thinking initially is, would they be serving the public? Then it would be a very different animal at that point.
I mean, I think that would be nice if they could, but I just don't think most people would have the means to buy that many briskets to serve, depending on how many people would come, but it's pretty expensive per brisket now. So I think just enough so that they can have a true competition, maybe do something else on the side that's connected for the food.
Yep.
Worst case scenario, they go no.
Yeah, exactly.
So it doesn't hurt to at least
Yeah, I
ask.
think it's certainly worth looking into.
Yeah, that sounds good. Sure. I mean, we'll obviously come back to this at a later time and date, but it's an idea that's out there, and by all means, yeah. I like meat, and I miss Rib Fest. So, yeah. Anybody else have any thoughts they want to throw out there? Doesn't look like. Dana, can you do one favor? Can you email out your attachment for those lights?
The catalog?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just whatever you have there that you just showed us.
Oh, the report. Yep. And I'll send a link to the catalogs as well.
Okay.
Just
cool.
to give you a sense, and I'll be following up with them immediately on availability. And we'll be exploring the first option of basically reduced size, if that does come in a smaller, like a half size.
Mm-hmm.
And if not, then we would go to the classic displays, half snowflake option.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Thank you. So that takes us to, did anybody have anything before I keep going? No. Okay. That takes us to 11, adjournment. So we can all go home now. Does anyone care to make the motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion
I'll
to
move.
adjourn.
Oh, Jeannie has, I'll second. That was Jeannie.
Jeannie made the motion, Karen second, all in favor?
Yeah.
Aye.
Agreed.
Motion
And next
carried.
meeting will be November 9th.
Yes.
And will it be in person?
No.
Oh.
Sorry.
Ew.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. Oh, well, unless something changes between now and then. But motion, all in favor? Sorry.
Aye.
Motion is carried. Thank you. Have a good night, everybody. Or was that a question, Karen?
No, I did not have a question.
Oh, okay.